Peace, peace, peace. Shalom, shalom. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. And welcome to another day to labor in the vineyard of the Most High. With your brother. Another day to get in the word to see what the Most I got to serve. And what he's serving us again today is more of our powers that have been hidden away from us and the other teachers that also belong to us. Alright? So we're going to go a little more in depth. Building on the last lesson with the breath. And the psychic breath is using your mind to control the breath and the currents of the breath. And through using them currents and by manipulating, so to say, them currents by the powers of your mind, your imagination, you can bring about healing and change within. Alright? You got the ability to regenerate yourself through the breath, like we learned in the last lesson. But now we're just going to get a little more detailed understanding of different aspects of what we can do with this breath. Alright? So let's see. Most High giving us back all our ancient ways of healing. Alright, to where we can regain dominion and authority over our own temple. Alright, and we don't have to place the fate of our temple in the hands of the Gentiles. Alright, but the carnal minds are not going to be able to use these abilities because the spiritual things is foolishness unto the carnal-minded man. Alright? So if you tell them you can use your mind to distribute prana or energy, moyo, chi from the air throughout your body by doing pranayamas, deep breathing exercises, they not gonna believe. Alright? And that's one way that they sin against their own soul because they don't know the abilities that they possess. And by their non-belief, they can't use these abilities. They will never have access to them because what you don't believe you got access to, you don't. That's why Jesus said, come to him as a little child. Little child, all things is possible to them. You can't tell them that they can't do something. And that's the way our mind's supposed to be. That's the way the Most High want our mind open. So when he come through one of his teachers and teach us that this is possible, then we won't automatically shut it down like our carnal-minded brothers and sisters. All right? Let me show you something. Show you my water here. Look at all that. Look at all that sage in my water right there. All right? These simple methods of healing the temple. All right? And regular water, when you shake it, it only get a couple bubbles. But when you put some herbs in your water and you shake it up, oh, you get all type of bubbles. And that just lets you know that there's more life in your water now. All right? Alchemy, science. Extract the spirit from the plant. Extract life from the plant. All right? The sage herb be with the rosemary, the lemongrass, and all the other herbs right in the grocery store. Alright? I'm on day 2 of being a breatharian. Alright? Day 2 of a fast. So it's just me, the water, the herbs, and a little juice. Alright? In the word. The word is all I need to eat on. We're going to start in spiritual warriors are healers. Alright? And the remnant, the spiritualites, are our spiritual warriors. If you believe in the word and what you've been taught, you have no choice but to become a spiritual warrior. Alright, so we're going to start on page 410. Chapter called The Breath and Breathing. The human breath is the cosmic force. The human breath is the cosmic force which bridges the 9 tones of the soul, the link between matter and spirit. Alright, and I'm going to display a picture of the 9 tones of the soul, but we're not going to go into it right now because it would take us away from the lesson. But that's a picture of what he's talking about when he say the 9 tones of the soul. Alright. The energy body, the heart soul, the physical heart, the physical body, the shadow, the spiritual soul, the spiritual body, the force or spiritual power, and the attribute of manifestation. Alright, so again, the human breath is the cosmic force which bridges the 9 tones of the soul, the link between matter and spirit. The ancient Kemetic pre-scientists recognized the fact that the same force that held the atoms together also maintained similar energy patterns within the human organism. It is by way of the breath that the mind is calm and the body relaxed. 2 of the basic requirements for good health and good quality of the length of physical life. The main purposes of most of the breathing exercises are to regulate and harmonize various functions of the body temple, mind, and to direct the moyo. And remember, the moyo is the same as the prana or the chi. The moyo is the internal vital life energy force of the heart of Haru, Christ, or Krishna consciousness. This harmony can be achieved by breathing a very specific way, according to the various exercises. When the spiritual warrior's breath wanders, the mind is wandering also. But when the breath is still, so is the mind of the spiritual warrior. Calmness of the mind would not be achieved without the discipline of breathing. In fact, breathing is a vehicle to help the focusing of mind and transporting the internal vital forces throughout the body. Transporting the internal vital forces throughout the body. Meditation refines the energy of the external air and converts it into the internal vital force of moyo or prana or chi. Page 418. The moyo is the vital energy flowing through the body temple from your Haru consciousness. Your conscious mind can also direct some of this energy that carries out body functions that was thought to be only controlled by your inner mind. Again, your conscious mind can also direct some of this energy that carries out body functions that was thought to be only controlled by your inner mind. The more control one has over your conscious mind in terms of focus and the ability to stop any outside illusionary interferences from distracting you from your position in life, the greater the moyo, the greater the prana, the chi. When the moyo is great and you are conscious of this connection, you can direct the body temple towards a holistic state of being. And that's what the lesson yesterday was trying to teach us. That through our mind and our breath, we got the ability to bring your whole body in a holistic state of being, in harmony, in oneness. All right, back in working order. And fasting also plays a part in that. If you are sickly, or just for regular cleansing, a 1-day fast, or intermittent fasting where you don't eat for a certain amount of time, say for 12 or 15 hours, and you only limit yourself to eating 5 hours a day. That's also a form of fasting, all right? Because the other 19 hours, your body don't have to deal with you eating, and it can take care of other activities. Your body is like a warehouse of workers. All right, when you eat, it's a shift. They gotta go to work. They gotta go through digestion and everything else, break down, and passing this on here and passing that there as a whole. It's a work shift. All right, when you fasting, you allow that work shift a day off. All right, to where now the cleanup crew can work a little longer, because in the morning time is when your body go through its cleaning period. All right, and if you don't believe it, just try it out. Don't eat early in the morning for a few days. Don't eat at lunchtime, and see the difference in how your system starts to operate as far as staying regulated. The morning is the body natural detox time. All right, so if you don't eat for a longer time, that means that work shift, the cleanup crew, they can work a few more hours. They get a little more done. But as soon as you start eating, the cleanup crew, half of them get sent home. All right? Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Hold on. When the moyo is great and you are conscious of this connection, you can direct the body temple towards a holistic state of being, allowing you to become a healer or giving you greater healing potential. All right, in the same way that I was just talking about how in your insides you got different work shifts for different groups of your workers that clear your body. All right. You also can visualize if some part of your body is hurt. You can tell that force, that energy, that group, that you need assistance right there. You need healing right there. And you do that through your mind. All right, just like in that lesson that we did on the imagination. All right, you got the ability to direct your energy, your healing to a certain part of your body. All right, but if you don't believe it's true, you can't use it. But try it and test it out. I ain't telling you that I ain't tried before myself. I try all type of stuff because I got the mind like Christ said. I have a mind like a child when you come to me. I want to try it and see who it work. Because I still a kid at heart to believe in all these superpowers. Alright? If the moyo is weak or you are in a state of unconsciousness, you will have little to no control over your state of health or your consciousness. Unconscious humans only use half of their brain at a time, while the other half is dormant of the half that is operational. Only about 5 to 10% is used. The majority of the population is consciously dormant and mentally unconscious. This is why the masses struggle to survive instead of being. However, if your life force, your life energy, your moyo is great, then your Haru, Krishna, or Christ consciousness can control the various systems in the human body temple, which are the respiratory system, the digestive system, muscular system, the nervous system, circulatory system, endocrine system, urinary system, and the skeletal system. Each system channels the moyo differently. These channels that flow through the body temple, giving it energy and vitality, are called meridians. The flow of moyo through these meridians is referred to as the subtle body. All right? That energy body. And through that energy body, your mind can manipulate that energy through the astral current. All right? And we didn't show where that darkness of your mind. You can go into the astral realm and manipulate the currents of the physical world around you, because you are not the physical vessel But, like we read in the last lesson, you're a spark of your creator, which lives inside of the outer temple. Alright? So when you learn to use your consciousness, because you're creator, that's why in some of the older lessons, other lessons, I kept saying, like, the creator is the supreme being, the supreme consciousness. If you think of your creator as a man, you limit the abilities of yourself because you see your creator as a man instead of the supreme consciousness. But if you understand that your creator is the supreme almighty consciousness that you can't fathom, and your goal is to increase your consciousness to become more like your creator, consciousness is unseen. Consciousness can manipulate the material world. All right? Energy is consciousness. Energy don't die. Consciousness don't die. All right? And by going through your mind, you can manipulate the physical temples. All right? Not just your own, but others. But at the same time, you want to heal others and not do harm. Because if you use your consciousness to harm others, you're inviting yourself into a world of trouble. Alright? And we done showed that on other lessons, but it even talk about that in the Science of the Breath book. Alright? You don't use your consciousness to hurt others, but you can use that consciousness to bring healing to others. And we're going to see that in a little bit. The mastery of the flow of your moyo through these meridians can keep you youthful, vigorous, alert, and in a state of balance. This balance is called holistic health. Holistic health should be one of the goals of all human beings. The greater your holistic health, the greater your spiritual potential, because you now have the strength to meditate and tap into your Haru Christ or Krishna consciousness, the nature, the supreme. All right? Through your mind, you can access the powers of your creator. But when you think your creator is a man, then you limit and you shut down your own powers and abilities. Alright? That's part of the trap of religion and even the Hebrew Israelite movement. Alright? We gotta go farther than that. Next, let's go back to our book. The Hindu Yogi Science of the Breath. Alchemy. All of this is alchemy. Transmutation. We're going to go into the chapter called The Phenomena of Yogi Psychic Breathing. Yogi Psychic Breathing. Remember, you are a drop of the supreme consciousness, seeking to expand your own consciousness. Like on the movie Lucy, they showed it to us right there. As her consciousness expanded, her abilities expanded. Alright? That's a perfect example of the whole goal of the scriptures, to increase your light, increase your consciousness. And as that begins to grow, your abilities and your powers automatically begin to manifest as you continue to elevate yourself and believe and attempt to try these things. Faith without works is dead. Alright? So we're going to go right here to prana distributing. And we're going to see how we got the ability to distribute our prana. All right? And the prana that's out here for us. Free to all. Drink some of the prana that the plants then absorb. Lying flat on the floor or bed, completely relaxed, with hands resting lightly over the solar plexus And the solar plexus, it says, is over the pit of the stomach, where the ribs begin to separate. All right, that's your solar plexus area right there. Lying flat on the floor or bed, completely relaxed, with hands resting lightly over the solar plexus. Breathe rhythmically. And remember, the last lesson when I talk about rhythmic breathing is you get a count in your head. Alright, so inhale for 6 seconds, and then you count that by 3. You hold it for 3, breathe out for 6, hold it for 3, breathe in for 6. Or you do 8 and 4, or you do 10 and 5, 12 and 6. Alright? Whatever number you comfortable with. And as you do it a couple of times, you ain't gonna have to keep counting. Alright? You will get a feel for it, and that's why it's called going with the rhythm. Alright? It's rhythmic breathing. Alright? You go with the rhythm. Once you set the rhythm in your mind and you count for maybe 3 or 4 or 5 sets, then you just start going through the motions and you ain't gonna need to keep counting. And then your mind can take care of other business. After the rhythm is fully established, will that each inhalation, alright, after the rhythm is established and you can stop counting with your mind, then you can use your consciousness to do something different. After the rhythm is fully established, will that each inhalation will draw in an increased supply of prana or moyo or vital energy from the universal supply, which will be taken up by the nervous system and stored in the solar plexus. At each exhalation, will the prana or vital energy is being distributed all over the body. Will that the prana, meaning use your consciousness to visualize and move it, will that the prana or vital energy be distributed all over the body, to every organ and part, to every muscle, cell, and atom, to nerve, artery, and vein, from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. All right, so of course your eyes should be closed when you're doing this. All right, but it's helping strengthen your mind, but that's what concentration drills come into also, where it's like, all right, if you get a crystal and you just concentrate on it, stare at it for a while, all right, it helps get your focus. Also, you can use a flame, the flame on a candle, all right, and you can stare at it. It helps get your concentration there. But also, as you stare long enough at a candle, and you want to stop blinking as much as possible, all right. You want to control your blinking when you're doing concentration drills, all right? Because every time you blink, it breaks the cycle, all right? But there are people that got the ability to manipulate the flame by staring at it long enough. One of my elder brothers told me this was a drill that his teacher used to teach them back in the 70s or whatnot. Now, I ain't tried it enough times to be able to do it, but my concentration game is good, but I haven't been able to manipulate the flame yet. But he didn't told me that he didn't have the ability to do it, and his teacher used to do it, and his teacher used to make them sit there and stare at the flame without blinking for minutes at a time, just going, staring, until they was able, through their consciousness, their will, to manipulate that flame. All right? At each exhalation, will that the prana or vital energy be distributed all over the body, to every organ and part, to every muscle, cell, and atom, to nerve, artery, and vein, from the top of your head to the soles of your feet, invigorating, strengthening, and stimulating every nerve, recharging every nerve center, sending energy, force, and strength all over the system. While exercising the will, try to form a mental picture of the inrushing prana. While exercising the will, try to form a mental picture of the inrushing prana, coming in through the lungs and being taken up at once by the solar plexus. Then with the exhaling effort, being sent to all parts of the system, down to the fingertips and down to the toes. It is not necessary to use the will with an effort. Simply commanding that which you wish to produce and then making the mental picture of it is all that is necessary. Calmly command with the mental picture is far better than forcible willing. Alright, man, you gotta be relaxed, which only dissipates force needlessly. If you're not relaxed, you're wasting energy. The above exercise is most helpful and greatly refreshes and strengthens the nervous system and produces a restful feeling all over the body. Alright, so that's a drill that you can use to distribute the prana all through your body. Go through your deep breathing drills and visualize prana coming in through the nose, alright, and going wherever you choose to direct it, and then on the exhale, direct it, alright, all through the body. See it in your mind while you exhaling, and when you exhale, it's like shooting it, alright, in different directions, alright. Next, we're gonna go to inhibiting pain. Lying down or sitting erect, breathe rhythmically, holding the thought that you are inhaling prana. Holding the thought that you are inhaling prana. Then when you exhale, send the prana to the painful part of the body, wherever you heard it, to reestablish the circulation and nerve current. Then inhale more prana for the purpose of driving out the painful condition. Then exhale, holding the thought that you are driving out the pain. Alright, so it says again, inhale more prana for the purpose of driving out the painful condition, and then exhale, holding the thought that you are driving out the pain. Alternate the two above mental commands, and with one exhalation, stimulate the part, and with the next, drive out the pain. Alright, so what it's saying is, you inhale once, get your supply, get your prana, and the first time you exhale, send that prana to the part that's hurting. Alright, so you're going to stimulate. For instance, if it's your finger, stimulate your finger with the prana that you just brought in. And with the next inhalation that you bring in, when you exhale, see the pain leaving through the force of you exhaling. You send that prana to that part right there. And you're supposed to visualize the pain leaving. Keep this up for 7 breaths. Then practice the cleansing breath and rest a while. Alright, so let's see what the cleansing breath is. The yogi cleansing breath. The yogis have a favorite form of breathing which they practice when they feel the necessity of ventilating and cleansing the lungs. This cleansing breath ventilates and cleanses the lungs. Alright, smokers. Alright, smokers. This is a breath that you should incorporate that help clean the lungs, and you're going to start spitting out mucus the more you do it. This cleansing breath ventilates and cleanses the lungs, stimulates the cells, and gives a general tone to the respiratory organs, and is conducive to their general healthy condition. Besides this effect, it is found to greatly refresh the entire system. Speakers, singers, etc. will find this breath especially restful after having tired the respiratory organs. First, inhale a complete breath, meaning keep going until your lungs are filled. Secondly, retain the air a few seconds. And then pucker up the lips as if to whistle. But it's saying don't do like that, just like a blowfish. Just blow out. Then exhale a little air through the opening with considerable vigor. Then stop for a moment, retaining the air, and then exhale a little more. So it's like you keep doing that. Repeat until the air is completely exhaled all the way until your supply is completely deflated. Remember that considerable vigor is to be used in exhaling the air through the opening in the lips. This breath will be found quite refreshing when one is tired and generally used up. Attesting it will convince the student of his merits. This exercise should be practiced until it can be performed naturally and easily, as it is used to finish up a number of other exercises given in this book, and it should be thoroughly understood. All right? Breathe in through the nose. In the cleansing breath, you breathe out little at a time. All right? Breathe out, stop. Continue breathing out, stop. Continue breathing out, stop. Until your tank is empty. All right? Back to inhibiting pain. Then, try it again. All right? Let's go back up. Keep this up for 7 breaths. Then practice the cleansing breath and rest a while. Then go through the motions again. All right, with bringing in prana, sending it to the part, and then breathing in more prana and sending it to the part and seeing the pain go away. All right, so it's saying try that again until relief comes, which will be before long. Many pains will be found to be relieved before the 7 breaths are finished. If the hand is placed over the painful part, you may get quicker results. Send the current of prana down the arm and into the painful part. Send the current of prana down the arm and into the painful part. All right, so you got to see it. You got to see it when you exhaling, coming through the arm, all right, and going into that part of the body. If it's on your hand, but I got confused in my words. All right, because right here it was talking about using your hands. Well, we're gonna read this in the next one. All right, we just gonna go there. I'm gonna let the book speak for itself. Directing the circulation. All right, we're going to see it in some of these because it's just speaking on how to send prana through your hands. All right, and that's a direct way of doing it because you can send more out through your hands. And the people that believe they got healing hands, you probably do. But it's just we haven't been taught how to use it properly. But we're gonna see as we go through this lesson how to more effectively send the prana through your hands, even when healing others or yourself. Directing the circulation, lying down or sitting erect. Breathe rhythmically and with the exhalations, direct the circulation to any part you wish, which may be suffering from imperfect circulation. This is effective in cases of cold feet or in cases of headaches. The blood being sent downward in both cases. In the first case, warming the feet, and in the latter, relieving the brain from too great pressure. In the case of headache, try the pain inhibiting breath first, then follow with sending the blood downward. You will often feel a warm feeling in the legs as the circulation moves downward. The circulation is largely under the control of the will, and rhythmic breathing renders the task easier. 5. Self-healing. Lying in a relaxed condition, breathe rhythmically and command that a good supply of prana be inhaled. With the exhalation, send the prana to the affected part for the purpose of stimulating it. Vary this occasionally by exhaling with the mental command that the disease or hurting condition be forced out and disappear. Use the hands in this exercise, passing them down the body from the head to the affected part. And using the hands in healing yourself or others, always hold the mental image that the prana is flowing down the arm and through the fingertips into the body, thus reaching the affected part and healing it. Some yogis follow the plan of placing both hands on the affected part and then breathing rhythmically, holding the mental image that they are fairly pumping prana into the diseased organ and part, stimulating it and driving out disease conditions. As pumping into a pail of dirty water would drive out the latter and fill the bucket with fresh water. This last plan is very effective if the mental image of the pump is clearly held. And this is why the concentration drills is important, so you can hold an image clearly in mind. This last plan is very effective if the mental image of the pump is clearly held. The inhalation represents the lifting of the pump handle, and the exhalation, the actual pumping or distribution. All right. The sixth one, called healing others. The main principle to remember is that by rhythmic breathing and controlled thought, you are enabled to absorb a considerable amount of prana and are also able to pass it into the body of another person, stimulating weakened parts and organs and imparting health and driving out disease conditions. You must first learn to form such a clear mental image of the desired condition that you will be able to actually feel the influx of prana and the force running down your arms and out of your fingertips into the body of the patient. The prana shoots out the fingertips right here. All right. That's where it's used to stimulate that organ. All right. That slight touch and that rhythmic breathing, and through your mind directing the force out of these tips here. You are the instrument. All right. The outer temple is the vehicle for us to use. Breathe rhythmically a few times until the rhythm has been established. Then place your hands upon the affected part of the body of the patient, letting them rest lightly over that part. Then follow the pumping process described in the preceding exercise, the one we just read on self-healing, and fill the patient full of prana until the disease condition is driven out. Every once in a while, raise the hands and flick the fingers as if you were throwing off the disease condition. It is well to do this occasionally and also to wash the hands after treatment, as otherwise you may take on a trace of the disease condition of the patient. All right, and remember, because when you're doing this, you working through the astral body. You working through the energy body. All right. You working on the physical body, but you doing it through the energy body. All right. Because we got multiple bodies that we ain't been taught about. All right. There's layers to this light body. All right. And that's what you manipulate through these processes. Also practice the cleansing breath several times after treatment. During the treatment, let the prana pour into the patient in one continuous stream. allowing yourself to be merely the pumping machinery connecting the patient with the universal supply of prana and allowing it to flow freely through you. The rhythmic breathing must be practiced frequently during the treatment so as to keep the rhythm normal and to afford the prana a free passage. It is better to place the hands on the bare skin, but where this is not advisable or possible, place them over the clothing. In cases of long standing, you may find it helpful to get the mental command in words such as get out, or be strong, as the case may be. The words helping you to exercise the will more forcibly and to the point. All right, and the commands, you speak to whatever part of the body you're trying to affect. All right, and you speak to the condition that you're trying to send out of the person. All right, the word, the power is in the word. Vary these instructions to suit the needs of the case and use your own judgment and inventive faculty. All right, next. This one is called distant healing. All right, and then when you're doing distant healing, the other person, don't try to do it without somebody knowing. They gotta know and be receptive for it to work properly. All right, and that's, I skipped down past that part, but it's a little higher up. But we're gonna start right here. In order to treat people at a distance, you must form a mental image of them until you can feel yourself to be in rapport with them. This is a psychic process dependent upon the mental imagery of the healer. You can feel the sense of rapport when it is established, it manifesting in a sense of nearness. It may be acquired by a little practice, and some will get it at the first trial. When rapport is established, say mentally to the distant patient, I am sending you a supply of vital force or power, which will invigorate you and heal you. All right, and you see where it say mentally to the distant patient, because you're going through the astral realm when you're doing this. All right, but that's why you got to establish the connection with them ahead of time, all right? So they be expecting it. And that way, like it just spoke on, building the rapport, y'all connection will be established. And then you can send through the airways, through the astral realm, your healing, all right? If your temple and your energy is strong enough. Then picture the prana as leaving your mind with each exhalation of rhythmic breath, and traveling across space, across the etheric realm, all right, across the astral realm, instantaneously, and reaching the patient and healing him. The receptive condition of the patient as he is expecting and opening himself up to your psychic force attunes him to receive your vibrations whenever you may send them. All right, so by him expecting and opening himself up, he opens the portal. All right, the portal has been opened, and now all you got to do is do your thing and go in and send your energy through that portal that has been opened up. All right, these are the things that they keep from us. All right, because as we get deeper into these understanding and these abilities that all come through a certain level of consciousness, we won't have no need of giving our money to the Gentiles. Their whole system will be done with. That's why they work so hard to keep us locked in this carnal consciousness, because the carnal mind can't process the things of the spirit and the powers of the spirit. But once we come back, like it said in the book of Jubilees, the Most High said, when they come back to me, to the spirit, to the supreme consciousness with all their heart and soul, meaning their consciousness has been elevated to connect with their higher power, which is the supreme consciousness that feeds that little drop of consciousness so that it can elevate and have powers like its parent consciousness. Then they lose all power, authority, and dominion over that child of the Creator. Alright? They lose their dominion over that starseed at that moment. That's why they work so hard to keep us in our lower state of consciousness. That's why all these churches and camps been set up to keep us locked in that carnal consciousness so that you can't break free and have that authority and that dominion that was given to you. Alright? Dominion and authority was given in the first creation story. Man and woman created he them and gave them dominion. That was the first creation story. Before they got sent in the flesh, or trapped in the flesh rather. Alright? Once they got trapped in the flesh, they lost dominion and authority. Alright? Male and female, it say in Genesis 2, was created together. Male and female together created Adam. The Elohim created the male and the female aspect and gave them dominion. Those are the ones made in the image and likeness that know who they are as starseeds. The starseed that's trapped within the flesh. Alright? Adam and Eve, that was later on. That was the fall time. That was when you got trapped in carnality. Alright? These stories is symbolic. Even though it's truth in them, it's a double-edged sword. You got to be able to understand it outside of just the carnal aspect of the teachings. Alright? Adam is symbolic of the Adamic race, the original race. They got trapped in the flesh. And when they got locked into that carnal consciousness, they fell away from the Garden of Eden, where they was one with the Spirit. Now, we going back to how it was in the beginning. We growing back to Eden, to that spiritual realm, to where all things are possible. And we elevating above that carnal consciousness that keep us locked on that lower vibration, to where that's when he gave us over to be controlled. Let's get back. Get back to the broth. Next, forming an aura. Put a protection field around yourself. If you are ever in the company of people of a low vibration, a low order of mind, and you feel the depressing influence of their thought, breathe rhythmically a few times, thus generating an additional supply of prana, and then by means of the mental image, by means of the mind, surround yourself with an egg-shaped thought aurora, which will protect you from the gross thoughts and disturbing influences of others. Next, how to recharge yourself. If you feel that your vital energy is at a low ebb and that you need to store up a new supply quickly, the best plan is to place the feet close together. Pay attention here now. The best plan is to place the feet close together, side by side, of course, and to lock the fingers of both hands in any way that seems most comfortable. This closes the circuit. As it were, and prevents any escape of prana through the extremities. Then breathe rhythmically a few times, and you will feel the effect of the recharging. Recharge your own aura. Recharge your light vehicle. Alright? You got them abilities. Next, recharging others. If you can charge yourself, you can charge someone else. If some friend is deficient in vitality, you may aid him by sitting in front of him, your toes touching his, and his hands in yours. All right, the same as we read in the one above, closing the circuit. Then both breathe rhythmically. Both of y'all breathe rhythmically. You forming the mental image of sending prana into his system, and he holding the mental image of receiving the prana. All right, he opening in the portal. All right, the circuits is closed, but he opening the portal to receive the energy that you about to send in. People of weak vitality or passive will should be careful with whom they try this experiment, as the prana of a person of evil desires will be colored with the thoughts of that person and may give him a temporary influence over the weaker person. The latter, however, may easily remove such influences by closing the circuit and breathing a few rhythmic breaths, closing with the cleansing breath. All right? And that's the way to recharge your energy if you feel that somebody else may be drained you. All right? This is the last one we're going to go through. There's a few other ones in here if you get the book, but these some of the top ones right here that the Spirit felt that we should all indulge in together. All right, so we can bring back healing, the healing vibration to the nation. Oh, Jaja soldiers is getting back all of their weapons. All right, and this is what the churches and the camps ain't giving us. They tell you our weapons of warfare are not carnal, but they not giving you the keys to unlock the weapons. But we did a few lessons here now, so that now you can better understand why he said the remnant is going to be important to him. The remnant is going to be his soldiers, because only a few is going to have the mindset to be able to unlock the true weapons of the Spirit. All right? Charging water. Oh, we got the ability to charge up that water. You better know it. Water may be charged with prana by breathing rhythmically and holding the glass of water by the bottom in the left hand, and then gathering the fingers of the right hand together and shaking them gently over the water. Shaking them gently over the water, as if you were shaking drops of water off of your fingertips into the glass. The mental image of the prana being passed into the water must also be held. Water, thus charged, is found stimulating to weak or sick people, particularly if a healing thought accompanies the mental image of the transfer of the prana. Oh, there we go with more of our weapons of the Spirit. All right. Our weapons are not carnal. The carnal weapons had nothing on the spiritual weapons. But they done dumbed us down that think that all their weapons are just the best of the best technology. Nah, the best technology is inside of this most superior machine ever created, which is the human body. Know thyself. Knowledge of self is knowledge of your creator. Knowledge of self is knowledge of God. Alright? And that's what bring you powers when you learn the true nature of your creator. He is not a man that he should lie. Alright? Peace.